Hello, Blender folks. Welcome back. This is Gnomes. So today we're gonna do some continuation of this animation. I'm just doing this for a portfolio matter, and this is Akali, of course, a League of Legends character. I've downloaded this for free somewhere. And so I was doing this some animation, like testing some stuff, like just some action. Can have a lot of good stuff. I intended to make something about the camera here, as it's get here, right? You see this retaining of the actions, like it's slow motion on purpose, and yeah. So lots of things to fix here, and it's very hard to animate when we have these 3D bones, and you have to change something like the root bone. Alt T here. Let's clear this. Why I'm using this thing here, by the way. So basically here we got the view. There's this screencast. We need to change this to set origin to this. Yeah, but region. Yes, there we go. But it's displays. Let's make it around here maybe. Yeah, that's an lower there. Okay, this was the setup for when I was doing. So in 3D animation in Blender, let's add some soundtrack here also. There is the, yeah, hold on. It will not be my soundtrack that I was using for this action here, but that's fine. We can hold it, we can do something. Because I wouldn't have the copyright to stream this thing. So here I mean the soundtrack. So I want to do this short. So basically the thing is done. Maybe I would like to conclude the action, or maybe not. Like in a game where you need to go back in. Yeah, we can just do this, right? It doesn't need to. It will be too boring, right? So we're gonna just finish like this. So I'm using a lot this brick downer thing because this is super valuable. It's like without curve editors, then without the curve editor we can use this to break down some interpolation like I did here, for example. Well, hard to explain here, but yeah, like you have two keyframe stuff, they are interpolating, and then you want to bring you make a breakdown with this option, where I'll be doing this at some point. So this rig, I don't know why it's probably older, so there's might be some glitch in the there's some sort of alpha transparency on the, and unfortunately we don't see the, but incredibly the mesh is quite low to pose, so it's kind of good. The deforms are not great in all pose, but we can do certain things. Apparently it used the Rigify, right? It has some automation physics, which I don't know what it is about. On the hair, I don't know what this is. Maybe this is some, I don't know what it used. Maybe it used some physics. No, I have no idea. But there are some, maybe it's some physics on the bones, or maybe some bone constraints that could create some. Yeah, so it's the dumped track thing, so it's create some dependency cycles here. Wow, yeah, so, but it works. So we don't need that done for that. So this here we got to build some improvements, right, on the stance here, and I haven't started animating with the. Yeah, so I'm not used to Rigify rig, so I don't even know how to make the. Oh, we don't need that. We can use this rig UI thing. Let's see here. It is custom properties. No, rig layers here. Okay, I've pinned this on the top. So what we have custom properties. I don't know, it's not this one. I know there's a bones here, which is the one for the custom properties. Yeah, no, it's not custom properties. Yeah, it is custom properties. So there is stuff here. Yeah, some maybe some of the glow thing, I'm open Blender 4.5, so probably things got broken. It was the only rig that survived, rigged model that I had that survived when I was reopening this file. So here, I think we need to do something about the... Yeah, like all the lag is jumping from that one, so I think I can do something different here if I could. Maybe we can break down something about this foot rate. Yeah, we can probably do something here. So like, yeah, there's even a keyframe here, but for no reason. We're gonna try to maybe bring it closer. Okay, first Shift D. No, it's not. Okay, it's controls. Okay, just insert keyframe here. We're gonna maybe from here, in between here, we're gonna first try to get it closer. Let's see if that works. Yeah, but then it okay, we need to Shift D here, F. All right. Again, this is wrong. Okay, so we're gonna F here again. And there is some problem again with the jump, apparently. Okay, so counter action. We're gonna have to keyframe this somewhere like here. Yes. F again. Oh, this is going crazy. Okay, we can't do this. We need to... Something is controlling. Okay, this is a little better, but this is not good enough. Let's see what's next. Okay, so we need to... Maybe... Can I pivot this from here? Yes, we can do this, right? But this is not the action that I wanted, right? Yeah, so maybe I delete this. Gonna clear up this. I'm gonna redo this entire thing. So, okay, we got this back, which is nice, but we can improve this a little. Like, we could make a little breakdown here. Shift D. Let's like make a minute change here. And so here from this position we're gonna do something like that, right? Too fast, so we're gonna bring here some sort of slight anticipation. What can we do here for this? Maybe it's here we could use the breakdowner. There are just two frames, one frame here, so yeah, but we can use the breakdowner. So basically hold left click. Let's see. Let's bring it closer to here. Yeah. And then as for here, we're gonna let's make the foot slip. Yeah, something like that. This is maybe No, maybe just this one gets slightly. Okay, and then it moves too fast, so, or maybe not as fast, so let's see. Oh yeah, this thing. All right, we're gonna, because this resembles this, we're just gonna delete this one. We're gonna make the breakdown somewhere here, approaching, yeah, maybe, no, approaching the ladder, yeah. Oops, I'm gonna, okay, the first flip, it's not great, but that slipping, what can we do more here? Let's try to repose this closer here. Wait, why am I here? Let's bring this here. Yes, okay, then this is moving unwillingly. We're gonna shift D here, F. Ah, it's still moving, so something, it's probably because of this stupid bone. This is one of these big problems when you have those advanced foot trees. Like, have to undo the animation. It's kind of, this is why I don't like the anything else on the foot. I want to pivot everything from the foot itself, side, whatever. So here we cannot do this with this system of the, and so there's something that is making this foot. Oh, I see. Okay, we're gonna F here. All right, foot stabilized, good. And now I want to, yeah, before it jumps, somewhere about here, we need to reinforce this. Yeah, we need a shortcut keyframe otherwise. So we could select all. Let's try to extend this, move this, make more space here for this, just a little more. Maybe this is too slow. Yeah, let's all right, so I want to maybe start from here, so this is not. Okay, we're gonna risk here. Okay, so here we're gonna, not this. Okay, I got this. No, this. I'm gonna shift D, this here, and here we're gonna exaggerate this. But then it needs to start to immediately, yeah, how you do this? This is super annoying, right? So you got this. You can't have this thing like that. You need to unbreak this leg. It's too late, right? Let's delete that. All right, so maybe not exaggerate this that much. Yeah, I need to wait her. She's not leveling her body fast enough in relation to what I was doing here. You see there's a problem here. It's all trembling. It's not good. Okay, I see. So maybe we need to retain this. Start this before maybe. Delete all this, probably don't need. Too close. The problem is here, so okay, maybe I can let this leg stay for longer in the, so it's all wrong here. Actually what you need to do is to pick the foot, start with the foot and mess with this later. Even delete this, right? So we are gonna push this keyframes here. Oh yeah, but it's bad. The thing starts moving. The root, very dangerous. Something seems to be controlling the foot, but it's not this. Okay, we have some motion here that we can also delete. So as she got here, about here, we could Shift D F. Hold on. Shift D F. No. Validate F. No. So this is annoying. Need to Shift D. We can destroy some stuff here. Or would it be like Control C, Control V? Yeah, that works. Yeah, so here you have some things to fix on the hands. It's usually this, but here the base is still complicated. So okay, I got this little thing. Then this is working, but immediately here it is not. I need to create some sort of yeah, Control T. In range, around frame, now in yeah, we're gonna make just for some selected keys of this. $24, $27, $16. Yeah, exactly here. All right. So this is the stupid arc that this is doing. We cannot afford this bricking. Probably this we need to first gonna delete it. Let's try to okay, so I need to fix this foot here. I can't really see much. Okay, so something about here. I need to make it glued so much easier if you have to draw this than maybe this is too much, but and it is pushing the foot forward. Now we need this to maintain the yeah, you see all this because of this garbage thing, right? So this is like a nightmare of at least I don't know a technique that solves. That's the stupidest thing to do. So the riggers, they think, oh, I made an automation for the IK, great. But for animation this is actually very, very stupid. I was trying to figure out a system that would prevent this thing, so I'm gonna just ignore this, I think. Okay, what you can do here, we can probably pick this foot. No, nothing like that. Too strong, so I'm gonna just... Why is all these keyframes going crazy here? Okay, this is better, but we need to make it like manual. Otherwise, it will still... Something is controlling this foot. It's this keyframe. Yeah, it's something. Yeah, I need to break down this in some way. Why they got inverted? Okay, this thing is just making... Now let's ignore this one, it's too annoying. Let's just try to move this. We can move all this, right? Yeah. Yeah, maybe we just leave this foot, yeah. For longer, okay. That's enough, yeah, that's... what is this? Yeah, we bring all this thing. We probably don't need this. Yeah, so this one, we're gonna... There, yeah, something like this. Here is where we could break down. Yeah, actually we can break down here. Oh yeah, good. We can... Interesting. Make a different breakdown here actually. We're gonna delete this one. like to retain this a little longer, so here I don't like the knee. Oh yeah, because of this. Okay. Yeah, here she's preparing, so there's a tilting in the root just from there. And here we could have some camera motion to rotate, like in some way. I can imagine already. Okay, enough played here. We're gonna go back. The hands in this rig is another problem that I'm not familiar how it works. They doesn't seem to have pose assets. Mongren, welcome. How you doing, bro? Welcome. So let's try to do something here for this this foot, right? Yes, the leg is not stretching. This is very weird, right? So we probably need to delete this keyframe here. Here, okay, I got this. So let's make this one. Yeah, this is the preparation for the kick, right? So basically this means that this one, we can have it already more up. That's nice. We can also have this leg like here also. While this keyframe is the one that you need this to actually stretch the leg, yeah, and actually change this. We can try a breakdowner here. Well, the limit is bad. The leg doesn't stretch. Ah, because there is this keyframe. Okay, immediate keyframe here. Yeah. So let's make this into a Doesn't seem to work. Okay, I'm gonna need to address this manually. Okay, this is correct, and here is the problem. Maybe we need the other push. Yeah, I don't know how to use that, but doesn't seem good. Yeah, it's making... Yeah, that's why I decided... The appearance of the foot here is not good. We need some... Maybe a varied keyframe here. Something that will stretch more in this... For this pivoting, we could continue making it a little more. Okay, this problem with the leg has almost gone, but yeah, I need to... Okay, I see. This is broken. Let's get the... This is where ghosting is important, like onion skinning, but I don't have here. Okay, so I'm gonna pick this and pivot here. Why when I pick this it doesn't go? Who knows? Oh. Okay, maybe we leave this for the interpolation. Or we try to bring this second. Okay, this is working. Just like let's leave it that for the interpolation. Just got this one, and here, yeah, apparently we need a little interpolation here, otherwise it doesn't work. Let's exaggerate. Oh yes, actually this is the opposite. We need to bring this here. This more about here. Now I can readjust these hands here. The idea is contractions of the body. Yeah, but I can't cause this disaster here. So here I'm not really sure what is destroying the... Yeah, it's the shoulder, okay. That's the liberation of force, of power from... It looks like I have a hard time dealing with the arcing of the back. Like, don't something weird about the mid torso, something about the torso that yeah, I didn't play this tweak torso, maybe it's here. Yeah, this one seems important. So there are probably this rig here. Well, my adaptation to this rig particularly. So here, let's re-keyframe this. Let's look where it is. Okay, we need this here. Yeah, we need the reference. Okay, I don't know what is the option that would allow this. I cannot jump where the other are, so this is very bad. I don't know where they are. I have to map 32. It's kind of hard to manipulate this, right? This arm seems to have... So where is this one? Ah, here, there's another keyframe here, so I'm gonna delete this hand and try to solve this one here. This pole target seems to be completely wrong. All right. This hand is bad timed. Oh yeah, sure. Here we're gonna use the breakdowner. There we go. Maybe a bit too strong here. We're gonna bring this to the middle. Yeah. Or maybe just bring this one here and this one here. Yeah. We could probably do something here too. If I can fix something on this part, but otherwise there's some to be some rogue motions. Yeah, it's like I need more time for this. Let's make a breakdown here. Closer to here. And this, we need to bring this here maybe. Now the problem is that this hand is going stretching. Well, let's delete this one. We're gonna try to, from here we're gonna get this. And the hand is stretching, so of course, yeah, it's actually because of the action. It's a lot confusing with all this armature and this yeah. Okay, this is kind of nice. Serve problems, but the generic thing is, see, there are a lot of weird actions here that are happening for all the body, but there are some patterns like contraction. We could exaggerate, we could have less crazy intersections, but this is not my fault totally. It's the rig is the trick. And then we have the release on different, not all the same time, but this is very sharp kick, right? And the arms, they happen differently. The torso, so there are different timings for different parts of the body. Yeah, that's kind of nice. Yeah, it is hard when you're doing the thing to start a 3D animation. I think any animation, but precisely 3D animations, like, it's really scary at some point because nothing works. Like, you're struggling with the most stupidest things of the tools of the system. Well, before it even starts to do something of interest. Oh, you see some leg motion here. We can probably improve this. Let's see. Yeah, I see this leg here. This pose for this leg is not necessarily good. Let's try. Yeah, maybe we can um yeah, let's bring this leg here. Why not? So you see there's different timings for like there's some sort of endless preparations. It's not like one anticipation. You have many things. There is first the character. Okay, slow motion. There's the. It goes to the limit where it goes up, right? Higher. Then the legs start to pose in certain ways here, but then they immediately start moving to the contracted, and at this point the arms, they were more relaxed and they contract, but in different ways, and then the release already explained on different. Yeah, so now what you could do is try to. I think this one is good. Yeah, so I'm gonna use the camera. I think I have a camera bone, but this is no more needed with the Blender 4 point something, right? When they made the slots, right? Why legacy slots? If you're gonna make and I don't know, this is complicated, but we should have a camera here. Yeah, there is a camera that okay, the camera thinks she's Akali, so there's a camera inside the mesh here, alright, so we're gonna make it the apparently we have a okay, because this camera is bound to rig, yeah, some constraint that I don't think I need this. Yeah, I'm gonna actually just disable this. Reset. No, we don't want keyframing here. Reset. Okay. Okay, we need to totally delete this in order to manipulate it, right? We can change this. Okay, so what happened to my... Okay, apparently I've assigned the... Okay, so this, of course, I couldn't delete this. I have those things showing here. From this angle the jump is very bad, but we can probably fake this problem if we so I need to get the camera and bring it into the need to make this after, so I'm gonna keep this camera here. First part is okay, but we could bring this a little more up. I don't know why this doesn't create the this thing. Oh, we don't have breakdowner for this? Interesting. So here we need to cheat. We can't make this motion here. We need to do something. Oh yeah, so we can't use the... Okay, we need a bone that follows the camera, right? I have already this camera, but so I'm gonna just use this bone to copy location, yeah, or just okay, so here is the motion. We need to start from here, and we need to yeah, on object mode, of course. Oh yeah, but then I don't see the motion track. Yeah, that's terrible. So this is why it's still, this thing is still bad. They need to enable, my system is still better. You manipulate the camera through bone, then you are totally on, then you don't need to have a camera object inside the, you don't need the slots. But of course the idea of the slots is great, but the problem is that now I'm not on pose mode, and now I cannot manipulate the, I cannot see the motion track of the camera. Okay, we'll try to do this, but this will be a very painful. Wait, this is the wrong. Yeah, why doesn't it just rotate the way I want? Let's delete the last one. I'm doing this again, the wrong position. I hope I'm not disrupting the action itself by doing this. No, apparently not. Okay, it's not terrible, but it's not very good either. If we check the motion track of this now, this doesn't seem to be interpolating correctly. Of course, this is still object mode, is not what we want, so it's doing a linear motion, right? Strangely. Okay, this keyframe is allowing this is terrible, right? Animating a camera without the bone, without motion paths, without interpolation, without the this is the camera is very hard to animate if we don't have the proper tools. It just gets very complicated. So we don't have interpolation, so we have nothing, just linear stupid interpolation. Okay, so what if we did something like halfway? And then halfway again. Now you have, now you have this curvature. But now you have to do something that I'm not sure if that works. we cannot manipulate multiple keyframes at the same time. Pose, right? Yeah, so this is yeah, so this is being too fast and too clunky, but if I can get this motion right, okay, maybe we can do this. Let's see. Yeah, there is some weird motion of the camera that's not smooth, but overall it is working. We got this one that needs some smoothing out of this, right? Maybe start moving this before. And here what you have is weird regularity. Okay, I see 2 spikes. One is here. Today is my temp mail, is my 9th day, and I can only make perfume bottles and I can animate them. Is it good? Today is my ninth day of animating in Blender, or doing using Blender in general. 9th day and I can only make perfume bottles and I can animate them. Is yes, that's pretty good, because depending on what these bottle are like, their shading, if they have lot of stuff, then sure, that's a good stuff. Texture, right, UV maps, maybe geometry nodes, no. But I don't need for bottles. Yeah, like Blender is I think it's a good progress. Like you can do a lot of nine days, and a lot of things that we learned there did not immediately appear in the final product anyways, so that seems good. And creating assets, right, it's can be very good practice. So here we got this, and yeah, you can actually animate bottles even in 3D in creative ways. Like you can make stretch and squash, and if you rig the bottles in a cartoonistic way, then even they can be good elements for animation. Okay, so this camera here, yeah, is the problem of the rotation of the camera. I cannot fix this very well because of that problem. I have to manipulate the interpolation entirely. Glass look, I don't like much. Still learning now. Oh yes, glass, both in EV and cycles. Glass is actually one of the worst things to start with, I think, in terms of shading, because there are too many problems involving it, technical problems of how they interact. I'm getting used to interface camera movements a bit of. Yeah, camera movements is like I don't like much the default thing. Like, they have tons of tutorials. Usually they are good, but I don't like the setup with the curve. So I think they never get the right idea for animation. Still, people do, animators and filmmakers in Blender, they make good animation motion anyways, scene composers and everything, but I think the techniques are very, very bad for techniques for the camera motion. So I'm struggling here to make something very basic because I'm not using curve object. So the thing is that if you have a rig, you can actually, it's not a perfect method, but you can have a camera bone, and that you can transform, use a, I don't have it now, this is why I'm suffering, because I thought that I could fix the problem with the new slot of the action feature in Blender. This is an update recent, so we have now you can include the object, any object inside the action of right, the character action here. has a camera action here. So in the 2 slots here, one for Akali the character, not for the camera. However, I can't use the motion paths here for the some sort of onion skinning for the camera, because the camera doesn't have pose mode. So it's totally broken, and I cannot move the camera from pose mode either. So I cannot move the bone, I cannot see, yeah, so it's... So what I suggest, if you want to... well, this is non-orthodox. There's no tutorial about this. All tutorial of the other garbage is to actually... I cannot do this right now, it will break what I'm doing, but... I need to animate the bone itself. Currently it is following the camera, but it's the camera that you need to bone constrain to the bone. Transformation of that copy transforms and target the armature, then target the camera. And now I need to... Yeah, I need to copy these keyframes to the... I don't even know how to do this, but I know that this method works, because now you can pose the camera on pose mode with the bone, and you have the motion paths. And now you can do a lot of stuff. There you go. Haha. This is how I was animating before, and I thought that Blender got it now, because they got the slots. No, it's garbage. So it's it doesn't solve anything, actually. Almost anything it doesn't solve for this kind of more advanced solution. So unfortunate, because yeah, it's a work in progress. So maybe they figure out that this special feature is missing. And yeah, you can animate the camera with the bone, and you can be inside the camera. However, what you cannot do with this, unfortunately, is that you cannot navigate inside the camera now, because there is a bone constraint. So it's a stupid limitation. Navigation is very good, but now it's a limitation. So it's not absolutely necessary, because the bone can do the navigation for you. But so for example, if I have the... Yeah, I cannot navigate here, but I can... I'm moving the bone. I'm posing the bone here. Oops, I think I'm scaling the bone. I think my Blender is gonna crash. So what you will suggest a new buyer who just started, what should I focus on? Performance bottles are not good way to start. No, I think educationally speaking, it depends on you, the person, right? The artist, what you can do, what is interesting for you to do, what is your passion about, and what you need to do, like maybe professionally, maybe on the short, medium, long term. So if you're doing a project, you can move inside the camera by turning on camera to view. Camera to view. Yes, oh yeah, sure, let's see. Good point. So let's see. No, it's locked because of the bone constraint, but we can... Yes, it's still locked from the navigation, but I can still pose it on... If I just disable here, but then of course I'll not be able to use this for animation directly, because this is like the camera posing, and it doesn't control the... So it will go back So this is a non-orthodox method, right? But the thing is that this will allow us to do this, use a motion path with camera, like now I'd like just to get this, if I could only get this bone to copy. So what I would recommend is really try to do if you like project, you have a small idea, small project, right? Try to start a small project, mini project, right? And try to do a project that you are interested in. So if, for example, if you like this idea of perfume bottles and like scenes and making, I don't know, something like that, then yeah, it's a great start, because then you can make bottle assets. You can use the asset library system, you linked files. This is interesting to start learning, but it's a bit complicated in the beginning, the asset library system. You can use it for linking rigged models, so it's very important for making scenes for 3D animation, for example. And so what yeah, so you could start with small scenes. And how do I copy this to, I really copy. Okay, let's copy all the layer here, paste. Yeah, I don't seem to be able to. Yeah, so this will be my suggestion, right? To make mini project in. Try to do a mini project that you like on a passion subject, but minimize it to a realistic achievement that you can do on the short term. So that you like maybe you spend 1 week doing a mini project with some interesting topics, maybe perfume bottles as well, but something else also. When did you start your Blender? Yeah, my story is like with Blender is a bit old and a bit truncated, complicated. Like I've met Blender in 2000s, early 2000s, but this was a very shady Blender version. You didn't even have world space coordinates. It was all relative system at that time. At that time I didn't know anything relevant about 3D, and I was in drawing. And then in the 2010s, about that, I have some experience with 3D company and stuff like that, animation production. And then I learned about a lot about the technicalities of the 3D production, but nothing really about 3D art, like making. And then by that time, 2012, I've picked Blender. It was getting better versions by that time, and I started to learn modeling, like pure modeling without no sculpting, no mesh topology concept, nothing, just trying to make characters, sometimes some scenery, but very crude stuff. At that time, tutorials, there are barely no tutorials on YouTube, so it was very, very interesting times. But yeah, so, and then I took like about 1 decade, I just was playing with Blender. I was like on occasions, I wasn't doing much stuff, but I was trying just do things on passion, but not trying to. My learning of Blender was, I felt like a very slow curve, right? Totally slow curve. It was only on the past 3-4 years where I really decided to learn Blender professionally. And then is when I tried to, instead of just modeling characters and trying to some very basic shading, texturing, I tried to learn rigging because it was necessary for animation, and rigging is part of character design. So I got a bit I'll just say stuck in rigging for because I do character designs. I make characters, adaptation, cartoon is stylized, and then the rigging never finished because rigging is super complicated. But there's one good thing about rigging for learning is that it integrates almost everything in the UI of Blender. So because it's super complex, you have the model, the mesh topology, the geometry, even the shading system, the texture, the UV, all that to some extent relates to rigging. 3D animation, even geometry nodes, scripting, what else? Object modifiers. All that relates to rigging to some extent, more or less, and then vertex groups, armature object, of course, and so cameras also relate to rig. You can rig the camera. So rigging is like very wide. And that is what led me to, because I like rigging, I like animation and rigging, and character design. So that made me, what really made me learn Blender. Like I was very noobish for all that long time, for more than 10 years, and then just playing around. It wasn't going beyond modeling, right? I was just playing around, see what I could do. Pure modeling, low poly stuff in general, and then chilling out. But I wasn't learning deeply Blender, right? You say, not really learning professionally, and it sounded, CG in general at that time seemed very hard for me in general. But when I started to get in serious about Blender, so it's second half 2021, sorry, so about 4 years ago, is 3.5 years ago. So then is where I really started to get good, and it was quite fast. As soon as I started to engage in rigging, start to understand the logic of Blender. So this is what you need to, this is why you need a project. You need some project that will allow you to integrate lots of areas of the UI, even the video sequencer editor, whichever, right? The timelines. So this is the good thing about rigging, for example. But a lot of other features do this, right? Doing scenes also help. Rig is also a hard part of it. Yeah, some parts of rigging are more complicated than others, actually. And your journey are never going to be smooth. That's a fact. Blender in the beginning looks complex. Yes, the CG softwares, right? You see this ugly interface. Not ugly, but it's super complicated, right? So that's, exactly. So this is like, it's tricky. Oh, I know what I can do here. Okay, so solving problems. So I can pick the, I can pick this, the position of the camera with the 3D cursor. Except that I think that I've broke my... Yeah, unfortunately I broke my... Oh, no, I didn't. It was just because of the bone constraint. Okay. So I'm gonna pick the camera position here. I'm gonna get this bone. Yeah, let's get this bone. Yeah, let's delete this thing. Let's get this bone to the position here. Yeah, selection to cursor. And I think there's a way to align this to align the axis. Clear rotation. How do I align this to the copy? This is an object mode setup. Yeah, there's an object mode setup, so wait, I can do this. Alright, but I need to apply this. Yeah, this is complicated. Oh, maybe I can apply here. Yeah, there we go. So, good. So now I got this transferred. Not quite. Apparently it's reset. Okay, whatever. We're gonna try to match it visually, whatever. Oh, I think I've just reset the bone, that's why. That's what happened. Apply. Okay. Accidentally resetted this. Okay, then we got this new pose. Object mode. Let's do again copy transforms to the camera and apply and make sure this is rotated here. Okay. Bro, are you on Instagram? No, sorry, Instagram. I don't. I'm not familiarized with it. So usually for this, I just use YouTube. Where do you post or share your work? I have ArtStation, like seeing gnomes, but it's like I'm still building. I have a. You can check. I've made an animation of this. Usually it's on YouTube. I have most of my stuff currently. So you can look at the unfortunately YouTube is super chaotic, right? So you'll might find some tutorials, but hold on, let's find the ArtStation here. But it's just I don't have much stuff there, just used for portfolio. But you can look at some scenes I was doing for the this where should they be? Long streams, some streams a long time some months ago that were actually a bit more popular. Let me find you something. Yeah, you can look at, I don't know which stream here, but streams at this about at this time here. Yeah, I'm just sending you this scene was interesting to look at. I was using the asset library system and use a lot of compositing to render this stuff. Of course, you don't watch these streams like they are too long, right? It's just a waste of time. But you can look jump time to time and see what's going on, and see the results, see some of the workflows, anything that might be interesting. And there are some mini highlights here and there in the video descriptions. At that time I was doing this, and that can, but yeah, just to look some of the artwork there, actually, that sci-fi stylized scene. And then yeah, then this other position of the camera about here, right? Copy transforms, camera, apply. Well, I'll actually duplicate and apply. Okay. Apparently we need to G and R. Okay. And to conclude, we have this position. GR, apply. Okay, and now we can bring this back. Yeah, we can probably delete the keyframes of the camera, but we can actually enable this one. Now you can control, we can have this stuff for this bone. Let me check out. It's fine to call you a professional if I guess you're a professional, bro. It's been a while you're working on this. Yeah, like I'm professional maybe in the sense that I've accumulated a lot of experience, but not because I survive with this, right? But at least not. Yeah, but I have a plan for this, but yeah, I know a lot of rigs. I think I can do professional work at this time, especially rigging, which is what I've been doing for the most part, and also character making, assets. Yeah, you know, 3D assets, scene, provided stylized visually. I can do a lot of things. As I said, it started in 2000. Yeah, but 2002, like no, it was super. This 2002 I was already a 2D artist, right? Starting out 2D art. Yeah, I knew drawing already, and lots of stuff, but 3D, no, 3D like for me is late. But I had some notion. I had some mini courses on Autodesk, what is it called, the 3ds Max, and yeah, but this was super basic. I never really learned, never got in touch with the 3D, the CG domain until very late, until 2012 basically. But yeah, I knew Blender since that time before, and that was very interesting because it was free, I think. It was but it was very, very limited compared to what you have now. So now it's like super powerful. It's like a marvel of the world. Okay, so I have some crazy rotations here for this bone. Let's try to fix now this. Let's restart this workflow. So start stopped, then oh, I cannot. Okay, hold on. Why? Oh, because of the, of course. It's because I'm on the. Okay, I just want to zoom here. Okay, Prime, yeah, roadmap, how I should learn Blender, like what to avoid at first and what not, any helpful guide, because it's super confused to choose a pet, like what I actually want from this. Yes, actually it's very hard because, you know, you need to find out at some point what attracts you to CG. It's not a difficult thing. You need like, why are you doing 3D art, right? Why do you want to be? Is there anything particular that is attracting you? Do you like to make scene compositions? Do you like to make characters? Like for me, I love characters. I love animation. I was already a 2D traditional animator before, right? And now I'm learning. I'm still in the process of understanding, adapting to 3D animation. I think I can do professional 3D animation already, but my background is 2D traditional animation, right? So, and so I love those things. Rigging, I started to like rigging, right? It was a passion for me that I've discovered in 3D by doing, right? So you need to find, if you don't know, you need to discover at some point what you like in 3D the most, and then you try to focus more on that than the other things. But of course, if you want to work professionally, it's important to learn not only multiple softwares actually, but of CG, but like in Blender it's probably good to learn like broaden the scope. So it's why what you can try that challenge. If you're not sure, you can try the the donut challenge, right? I've never done the donut challenge. I found my other way, so it's not absolutely required, but I think it's a good experience because it's also a very complex project. It will make you help interact with multiple things in the UI of Blender. So this is the must. You need to understand the logic of Blender, of the UI, because it is repetitive, it's pervasive. Wherever you go, it's the same logic, like let's say like that. Of course each area can have its own specifics of logic, but essentially there's a Blender logic, and you need to learn this Blender logic by doing projects and studying Blender. But also you can try to consult the Blender manual, you know, the official site Blender manual on the version of Blender you're using. So this is usually good because you see the information that you won't see sometimes on the tutorials. So it's very basic information, not basic, it's like very a bit hard to read sometimes and to understand, but it's relevant. It's good to know those things. So Blender manual, good things to get used to. Consultations. Donut the Donut challenge and other channels like that. Try to find what you like in 3D and focus on that. Because if you keep doing like a generalist, yeah, generalist exists, but I have no idea how these guys have got their formation. Usually I don't understand how someone is able to get passion by everything of the software I think this is very hard, but some people, like, there are things I really don't like in Blender or in CG. I don't want even to touch this part of the interface. So I'm not very good for generalist, but on the other hand, if you think you can be a generalist, then yeah, you should, maybe you should look to learn like let's say, to understand the CG workflows. Yeah, so this is why making projects is important, and like scenes with rigged characters if you like animations, with physics if you like physics, with whatever. And so I started because of that, for making characters. Oh yes, okay, character making, sure. So that's but now I'm more precise, patient. I'm learning things slowly, so I make sure I'm filling myself good knowledge by keeping myself calm, and I can see, yeah, the results. Okay, yeah, so okay, so you know what you like, so that's very good, because making characters, like there are a lot of good tutorials out there, and base meshes, and you can use Rigify to rig your characters in a first glance, right? You can do a lot of things with characters in Blender. So I think you should continue try to focus on characters, maybe modeling, texturing, UV texturing, shading, but try to make those characters work in scenes, right? With the correct proportions in relation to the assets. Try to work with asset library system. I think this is important. Try to find some content on library asset. Like my channel, I don't have tutorial for that, but if you watch one or other of parts of those asset library scenes that I was using in that making, right? One of the links that I've sent you, if you look at little of that, you can see how that some of the workflow that might interest you, because then you can start making a character, right? Probably you need to rig, but then you can use Rigify extension, right? It's an inbuilt extension, it's free, it's just, yeah, probably, so you can rig very easily. You don't need to over complicate rigging. You just do the rigging so that the character can move, and you can pose, and you can animate, even if the deforms are not good. Yeah, for some people that is very annoying. For me, for example, because I love character design, and when I create my characters, when I discover that rigging is part of the character design, because the pose deforms the character, and you want them to deform correctly, you know, facial expressions, that. So this is, of course, a dangerous rabbit hole. So if you like characters, be aware of that. And if you want to animate characters, and then you probably don't try not to get stuck too much in rigging, and try to focus on making the characters work in the scene, even if they are not complete. That's why I start with a mini project. And if you don't want to rig the characters and don't want to animate, or I don't know, you just want the characters stiff, then like statues, then fine, make a lot of them, make a collection of them, like for illustrations for a museum scene, something like that, like a 3D illustration that works too. For now, right? But you know, the basic rigging thing is very easy. You can use auto waves with Rigify, and there you go, you have a humanoid character rigged that you can pose in, maybe not just for the facial expressions, but for the rest of the body. Yes, usually everything should move more or less accurately, and you can learn with making some fixes. I think this should be interesting. So don't get like don't get, how to say, intimidated by rigging, because rigging is it's complicated, but essentially it's more complicated when you're trying to do the perfect rig. This is madness. That's what I do. So don't try to get into these rabbit holes, and try to make rigs that work, and then you try to see how this works in the interface. I have no, I think it's not the time to show it, but usually in my video description, my YouTube channel, I have a guide which is a network of links for rigging, but this will be rabbit hole-ish thing, so not recommended for now. You're just learning the basics of Blender, not necessarily rigging. So I think, yeah, so with all this said, I think you have this thing of character, so you don't you can focus on characters for now because you like making characters, but try to learn what it takes to make good characters, or characters for the purpose you are looking for. Maybe it's 3D animation, I'm not sure, but if you love making characters, then try to improve in Blender by making characters. Like, oh, my characters don't have UVs and textures. Well, learn how to make UV texture for characters specifically. Oh, my characters don't have where to interact scene. Well, make a scene for the characters. My scene doesn't have a landscape. Make a landscape for the scene. My file is too big. I need to separate it into pieces. Yes, that's why you need to learn asset library system. Then you learn that to make this scene where you're gonna put your characters in and stuff like that. Your perfume bottles and all that, right? My characters are not animated. Well, get the rigs and get some mini animation done. My animations don't have actions. Make some actions, like preset actions like walking, cycle, jump, all that, right? This take times, but you start learning by focusing on things that interest you, right? Sometimes we should take care of course, learning stuff that we are not interested in, like in school, college and stuff like that. Courses, right? They teach stuff even if we are not never gonna use them, just so that we know. So it's the generalist approach. This is good professionally, but it is not necessarily a good approach for learning a software like Blender, because then it's a lot of time consuming stuff and boring stuff. It's more interesting if you do, I think, if you do mini projects, that like a 1 week project, start with a 1 day project, maybe few days project, 1 week, that you know that you can complete without taking too much time, without falling into rabbit holes of complications that, I can't include this in my project, it's too long, so leave it outside and do the project without that feature which sounds too complicated. And then by every time you complete a mini project, it can be a character, a completed character, or completed in the sense of the mini project, then you are getting, you are able to get more in touch with the software, and you start to develop for each different mini project different aspects of the UI of Blender, of what you can get in addition to what you already have done, right? And that is I think this will be my takes on this. Thanks, bro. No, welcome, glad to help. I got it. I will definitely try to model characters, but I guess I should stick to basics for now, at least by the time I get, try to learn mesh topology, because if you're doing characters, you probably need this mesh topology, not necessarily retopology, but which is another thing. Retopology, when you sculpt the character and then you retopology just because of the sculpting process, but if you don't do sculpting, or you're not doing sculpting for creating the characters, then you don't need retopology, but you still need topology. So try to learn the mesh topology, because this is very important for making characters, and later on for rigging as well, and for animation. Yeah, rigging and animation. Okay, so here we need to oh, wrong. We need to be in here. Yeah. Yep, I got it, bro. Yeah, sure. So yeah, don't be daunted. Blender is very cool, very interesting, and sometimes if you overdo stuff, well, take rest, right, a weekend or so, and then go back and tackle new also always ask for help. Blender forum, Discord, there are a lot of try not to waste too much time on tutorials, because yeah, this is one thing. Watching tutorials is very important for learning, but bro, I have to leave. Yeah, so okay, so if you still want to listen to this thing, but okay, just don't overdo tutorials. Try to create stuff and watch less, because when you watch, usually it's passive stuff, but just try to learn what you really need, and try to avoid overdoing tutorials, right? Because I do practice every day. Yeah, good. So practice with purpose. Then this is why the mini project, not big project, this is a rabbit hole. Mini projects. Try to design mini projects that you can then input or redirect what you need to learn. So this can be more engaging. You see, it can be a little daunting and frustrating in the beginning, because but it is important, because the project will lead you in directions that you are not expecting right now. So it will force you to engage, and it will give energy for you to engage in stuff that are really interesting, and they give more purpose than just learning by learning, you see, which is good, but it's not sufficient usually. I think I can delete this. Perform isn't included in its mini project. Yes, it can be included. Yes, it is, but it's like a micro project, like one perfume bottle or many perfume bottles, but then you probably want to add them into at least into a shelf furniture, right? Something like that. Whatever, like, you know, then then you make a bathroom or something like that. And so you see, this is good, sure. The perfume is a mini project, but you want to integrate more stuff in a mini project. The next challenge, right? Sure, bro. Have a nice day. Thanks. See you around. And good luck in your progress. I wish you the best. Okay, so probably I need to... Okay, this we can keep. This thing is going crazy, right? I don't really know its rotation, its... Yeah, I need to check this transforms here. No, it's not something about... This rotation... No, this is correct. Alright. At least this time it didn't break. Yeah, this is better. Ah, this is more interesting. Yeah, here we can still... Yeah, I need to... Okay, so maybe that can work. Let's see. It's probably not good. Not sufficiently polished. This camera has been yeah, there's also the hands, but if I can fix this camera motion for certain actions, then it's just the rotations that are very complicated. In spite of all my efforts here, so let's try something different here. Ah, now I got something there. Yeah, so of course the curvature, when it's better with the pivoting, it was not doing correct, so it's something that I need to keep improving. There's some too much cut here. Okay, let's do this last one, and that will be it for today, folks. There you go. Alright, so animation works, so it's camera animation also. Well, so just the worst thing in here actually, yeah, still something bad on the camera, but really what really bothers me are the hands right now. So that needs I pose them in some way. I don't know how to make the basic fingers pose. I don't have the good setup here, so we are gonna save here, and that's it, folks. See how the camera is trembling, and so this is certainly not as good, right? So that's actually super cool, right? We should save this as a video viewport render animation. Yeah, if I can zoom in more, I don't think. Yeah, very good, very good. Okay, folks, that was it for today. Thanks for watching. Take care, happy blendering, have a nice week, and see you another day. I'm gonna still doing this kind of rigging, character making, animation, sorry, the random times. I don't have a schedule now, because this is more chilling out, so, and see ya, folks, and good luck on your